Greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. The What It Takes Radio Company presents an ongoing adventure in what we call the Days of Awe, this special time of the year. And today, we are told that loneliness is epidemic in our world today. Really? Yes, really. And perhaps we need to do something different. Perhaps we need to be more connected to one another. That might be really awesome. Greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan, the Radio Man, and we're back. It's day 7 of the Days of Awe. That's something that our Jewish friends practice around the world, particularly in these chaotic and dangerous times that they're going through, and we need to make sure we're praying particularly for the people of Israel and particularly for the Jewish people who are living in some dangerous times. And so we are on day 7, and remember we talked about deliver us from evil. That's a big deal. But today we're going to take a little more positive note. I've asked my friend Bill Buck, who has quite a legacy, quite a story of helping people, and you're going to find out that he has a special t-shirt, which he's going to show you. But then he's going to tell you his story. And then I've asked him, based on his life and experience, we really need to belong and connect to one another. So I'm looking forward to this because, I'm a kind of a hermit sometimes, and I need, as my wife says, be more sociable, Stan, from time to time. Bill, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Stan. I'm glad to be able to speak on awe.
There you are.
And for those of you who can see my t-shirt, I am becoming more awful as I watch the sun rise. And that's about connection, because we need to be connected to the Lord to actually have all that He is being born in us. And that's B-O-R-N-E, so that it becomes B-O-R-N. And then those pieces work out. And Jesus was never afraid of any connection at all. I once heard a dissertation on the radio that said that God's glory is His ability to connect with anybody at any time, and that we all need that kind of connection. So while the translation of glory in Scripture is heavy, He's a heavy connector.
Wow. It says, it almost like we say, did God have a second thought? Or He said, it's not good that this man doesn't have a partner.
Right.
That's where it starts.
And so God made a partner for him to be connected with. And the two of them, I just really delight in the way chapter 2 of Genesis ends, because the last verse says, and they had everything that they could, sharing it all the time on everything without shame or embarrassment. And it's shame and embarrassment that usually stops us from connecting.
Wow. Tell us more.
We don't like to be known as fallible, especially us guys. In the conversation that Stan and I were having earlier, men are typically happiest and feel more safe when they're competent. Women tend to be more sound and safe when they feel connected. Now, women still need to be competent, and men still need to be connected. But we tend to compete more than connect.
Wow.
We want to be better, and when we want to be better than Jesus, we might as well just go ahead and swallow an anchor and go swimming. It's just not going to work out that way. And so the way men connect is typically with storytelling. And that's what Stan does a good bunch of on his radio program and his blog here. He tells stories, and men listen to stories a whole lot better than they do emotional expressions or a list of things to do or all that kind of stuff that you have to do to make sure that the connection is still working. If we have a story to connect to, then we remember the story and we do connect better. Now, I'm not going to say connect perfectly, because I'm still watching the sunrise.
Right.
There's a lot to watching that sunrise.
Now, if I realize that I need some work on this, and tell a little bit of your background. You've done a lot of helping men and others connect, because that's what you've done and what you still do. Give us a little bit of your background.
In my background, I was in the Navy until I was 16 years old. That's when my dad retired from the Navy, and we quit moving around all over the world. I've been as far west as Guam, as far east as Bermuda, as far south as Key West, and as far north as Crane, Indiana, where I was born and never touched the ground. Uh, and many times Virginia, many times California. But we were always, as a family, going someplace together. I can remember trips, especially the vinyl seats, because I couldn't keep my hands to myself, and I got to sit on them for miles and miles to keep me from pestering my sister and brother and little sister. And so when I came through to becoming an adult, somewhere just after age 21, I decided that I needed a job that I really would enjoy. And I had gone to school for NC State for 3 years and got a degree in civil engineering. And so I went out to find that civil engineering work that suited me. I very quickly grew bored with that. And so I was looking for something else. And I also was having a little bit of trouble connecting with my first wife. And so that got me into a position where, with the scripture that I was learning after age 30, I was then beginning to apply it to my relationship with my first wife. But it still didn't overcome all the problems that she had with me. And so, in the process of doing that, after that marriage ended, I went back to school and I got a degree in counseling. And I've been involved in counseling ever since, except that I retired in 2016, except for I'm not really quit. And the beauty of what counseling is that it gives you a connection with somebody who will listen and help you think differently.
Hmm.
It's not telling you what to think. That's propaganda. Thinking differently is opening up your mind to how do we connect. And each couple connects differently to begin with. And usually it's over oh, I'm so attracted to you, I can't hardly stand it. And that wears off somewhere in the first 5 to 10 years. And then I'm so wary of you, I can't stand it. And so we tend to want to go somewhere else instead of finding other things for us to connect on. Now, my wife and I have been now married 37 years. We just celebrated that 2 weeks ago. And we have found things that connect us together while not 100% of interest to the same interest to each of us. But what we do have interest in, we connect very nicely. And sometimes I want to go do something. She says, okay, I'll go with you. And sometimes she wants to do something. And I'll say, I want to go with you. And it's not that I'm curious about where she's going. It's that I want to be with her. And so as the Lord is working in my life, I find more need for connection to be content. And contentment is very important in our lives. Otherwise, we're always scurrying around trying to find some place where we are included. And included is a drive of human beings anywhere and everywhere.
Be connected. Okay. Now, I I got that, but can you help me just a little bit more? How can I be more aware of whether I'm connecting or not? I mean, sometimes my wife will say, "Well, pay attention more." Okay, tell us how we can be better at enjoying that awesome gift of really being connected, maybe fully present to people.
The number one word or two words is study her. And for wives, it's study him.
Hmm.
Find out what they're interested in and partner up with them for some of that, if not all of that. And as you continue to partner up that way, you're learning new skills, which, by the way, is a good way to stop Alzheimer's disease from infecting your brain. And as you enjoy the new skills and the new environments, find stuff in that is attractive to you beyond just your spouse, such that you have a look beyond your spouse to doing those kinds of things. One of the things that Bev and I have done real beautifully since the year 1999 is go to the lake. We have a small lake place. It's a mobile home sitting on a lot about a quarter of a mile from our dock. And we've been going there for all these 24 years. And we're not necessarily doing the same thing while we're up there, but we are there together. And the together part has to do with intimacy from an emotional standpoint, from a mindfulness standpoint, and understanding that your spouse is not wrong, your spouse is different, which gives you a big field of study because different, you'll never discover all of that is different. So you can stay continually looking at each other, figuring out what the differences is, and that you want to connect by choice.
And someone what a wise man told me, he said, Stan, it's okay to enjoy her mystery and
Yes.
let her have her mystery.
Yes.
And that's good. That helped
Yes,
me.
it is. And we need to be mysterious because we are differently woven together.
This is
XX chromosome and XY chromosome are not the same thing.
That's right.
And
You really can't change that, contrary to public opinion.
exactly. It stays in that vernacular of the XY, which is what the guys are, or the XX, which the girls are. And there's a lot of people that say, well, since girls are XX, that means keep your hands off. Well, it might be keep your hands off until it's at a better place.
Well, thank you so much. Bill, are you okay if people want to reach out to you in some way?
Because I am retired, the reason I am retired is because I have mild cognitive impairment. I have problem remembering nouns.
Okay.
I left practicing because when you're sitting with somebody and you can't remember their name, it's very ineffective to feel like you're connected.
I
And so
understand that.
so I get to talk to groups and people, and I'm more comfortable talking in groups. I'm pretty much a motor mouth, as you probably experienced already in the few minutes we've been on the screen together. And yet there are ideas that I think are profound that make for good foundations for relationships. And when I did retire from doing my licensed professional counseling, I consider myself a relationship counselor. And so far, the state has not found a way to put that underneath the pearl of their agreement and signing me up for whatever it is they think I need to do.
Well, as I oftentimes say, the wisest people have not been certified and stamped by the state. Just remember that.
Right.
Well, thank you so very much. Best and blessings on you. And we thank you for sharing some awesome ideas as we, again, go into the days of awe. But hopefully, as a result of that, as my Jewish friends would tell us, that we might even come out differently, and that next year, maybe we'll be in Jerusalem, but wherever we're going to be better.
Work with the awe of your spouse. It's very important. Work with the awe of your business partner. Work with the awe of your friends. And work with the awe of how come fish don't bite your lure.
Best and blessings, my friend. We really appreciate your time today.